PaleFest 3D, November 8th and 9th in Chillicothe, Ohio. Tickets available at palefest.net.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Weekly Wednesday Updates, because yes, I needed another video to make amongst all of the content that I am currently making and sitting on. I have a bunch of stuff coming out, so be prepared, but I wanted to continue this series since we are back in the groove of doing the Weekly Wednesday Update videos, and because we are only a few short weeks away from PaleFest. So, as I mentioned in the last two Weekly Wednesday Updates, it's crackdown time. We got to get stuff going because this place is definitely not presentable, and I want it to look beautiful for all of you beauties out there that are coming to PaleFest, especially since this could very well be the last time that the building is open to the public. So we are starting over here in the Cancer Christ section, which, as you can tell, has a little more items in it at the moment than it did when we last left off with the Weekly Wednesday Update videos. Quickly, take a drink of water every time I say Weekly Wednesday Update. You guys will be some hydrated mofos by the end of this thing, okay? So anyways, we are in here working on this. I'm going to try to get some of this stuff put up in a nice, orderly fashion, and we're probably going to move some stuff out of the Guar section that is a little more Cancer Christ related and get it set up over here. So hopefully by the end of this video, this is presentable, at least for now. Obviously, it's always going to be changing, and we are probably always going to be adding stuff to it. And then, in the front room here, I'll take you in, we've got been jamming out some shelves, and we are going to be working on this section because it is in dire need of some love. This whole place is a mess right now. We've got masks on the floor, we got stuff that needs to be added to this section. We've got horror stuff that needs to go up, and we just got rid of the giant Scream poster, which will be for sale at PaleFest. I will be having a House of Masks yard sale, and that is one of the items that we are selling off. So we've got to get this place in order. I've got like scooters, bicycles, bunch of random stuff. Ben's got wood, and we just got to get everything together. So that is what today's video will be. Enjoy the ride, and we will see you at the end. All right, so as you can see, we've added a lot more to this section since the last time that you guys saw it, and that is because we bought out Snake Babe and Snake Mama. So we've got all the Snake Babe, Snake Mama stuff. We've got another addition from Snake Boss, and then I would like to take that stage-used Piss Snake mask, as well as this drumstick, this guy, and probably move both of these stage-used instruments over here somehow. I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, but I'm going to do my best to get this stuff worked over into this section, get this all fluffed out, make sure that it looks presentable, and then we can move on to somewhere else. Probably another shelf on the Slipknot wall. We're kind of running out of room over there, so we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I'm going to do a quick time-lapse of me getting this all set up and whatnot. So I've hit a bit of a wall here. I'm not really sure where to go from this point. I'm obviously not happy with how it looks right now. This stuff's just kind of hanging out down here. We've got a lot of open spots, but this second shelf is really bothering me. From this point down to this corner, I'm really liking. I really like how that top shelf looks, but the second shelf is just kind of whatever right now. I don't really know where to go from here. And I don't even know if I want this bottom shelf to be Cancer Christ related. So I have a few ideas. I do have Piss Snake's full outfit and stage-used mask. I thought about doing some sort of bust and putting a Piss Snake bust right here. And then I do have the entire outfit from Fuck Snake. But if I take this full outfit and I put it on a mannequin right here and replace this Papa, which is going to go somewhere else anyway, so I'm thinking that's the move. But the problem that comes along with taking the Fuck Snake stuff down is that now I've lost half of the shelf that I'm content with, and it does nothing for the second shelf that I'm not happy with. So I don't know. I'm going to have to let this one sit for a minute and come back to it at another time, because the stuff that I have can fill these shelves. I just don't know how. We have the full Snake Babe outfit. We got a couple Snake Mama outfits. We got boots. And I don't know, like this kind of works, right? Like Snake Mama stage used mask, Snake Mama stage used boots. I don't know. I need to just let this one sit, figure it out another time. And I do believe that I'm going to take Tommy's, aka Snake Boss's Mockingbird here, and do a straight up and down hang, as well as the Piss Snake base will do a straight up and down hang. And then, yeah, I think we're going to end up doing the Fuck Snake stand up right here and having a full size, life size Fuck Snake display that kind of transitions the Guar stuff naturally into the Cancer Christ stuff. But for the rest of this, I have no idea. We're going to have to come back. But I will take you in here. Actually, the lights are off. Give me a second. Much better. Okay, so we've got these shelves placed. Obviously, they're still loose. I'm going to have to come back in here and paint these, and then we will get them screwed down. But I think tomorrow we're going to go get more wood. We're going to do another line of shelving above this one right here. I think maybe before PaleFest, this futon is going to disappear, as well as this little love seat, and we're going to take this shelf over here that has just like some comics and different magazines and stuff I've been featured in. We're going to push this all the way against this wall over here. So I'd say that this is going to be the episode that is mostly dedicated to making some progress in this room. This will all get cleaned up. A lot of the second shelf, or I guess, why did I say second? Top shelf. The top shelf stuff will get spread out a little bit more and cleaned up a little bit. We've got even more TCM stuff down here that can find a place. And then vintage masks and, you know, just random masks up here. And what was I going to say? There was something else that I wanted to focus on as well. Doing a shelf up here, getting these painted, getting this stuff spread out, getting this stuff off the floor. Was it something in here? I don't know. Let's see. As you can tell, I'm really good at making videos. Oh yeah, I'd really, really, really like to get rid of all of this. I want to get rid of this shelf, these two IKEA cases, this shelf in the middle, and I want to do some shelving like this to put all of my merch and special masks on, like the vintages. Look at that. We just got them all over the place. And yeah, I want this to look legit. I feel like this looks very thrown together. It's a cool setup with lots of cool stuff, but I just feel like building something for it would make this all much cleaner looking and not so cluttered. And then this dude, yeah, we gotta get rid of this thing. We gotta find somewhere for this. We originally thought of hanging it from the ceiling, but I don't know. It's just gonna be heavy, especially with a mannequin in there. And I don't even know if we can do the mannequin because we'd have to figure out a way to get the mannequin to hold onto these hands. And there's like an actual handle in there. I don't know if it, yeah, it's right there, that white thing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Everything's a fucking mess. This is not what I expected out of this weekly Wednesday update video, but I'm doing my best, and we got to get something done so that when you guys get here for PaleFest, everything's new and cool and beautiful, and I'm not stressed. You're stressed. Everybody just calm down, okay?
Several days later.
We're back at Menards because me and Ben have this disability where we don't ever get all the wood that we need for whatever reason. We get just enough to do one part of the project, even though there's 70 parts to the project. So Ben's got the wood, if you know what I mean. He's got the lumber too. And I got some rollers because I'm gonna end up using them anyways. All right, guys, I'm real excited because this is finally happening. This has been something I've wanted to do essentially since we got this wall put together with these IKEA shelves and these little cube shelves, because I've never really been happy with how this looks. I really like the custom built shelves. They just look better. It's cleaner. You get more area. And these shelves are nice, but they're just not meant for what I had in this room. If everything in here was like this, that would be fine. And I love seeing stuff behind glass, but it just wasn't working out. So we are knocking this out finally. Really excited. I think that this is going to take this room to a different level and definitely help accentuate the Slipknot mask collection. So we'll check back here in just a second. All right, so we've got all of the shelves cut to size. These aren't screwed down yet. Obviously, we've got to get these things painted black. So I'm going to take them over here, get them painted, let the paint dry, and then we will mount them to the wall permanently. And then comes the fun part of taking all of this existing stuff out of the cases that it's in right now and getting it rehomed over here on the new setup. And I'm really excited for how this is going to look. I literally just walked in from this side of the room a second ago and saw this wall and was like, goddamn, how much sicker is that? So once we get everything placed up there, it's going to look like a totally different mask room. I'm very excited. This is long overdue. So let's get these things painted and get them hung. All right, so we have got the shelves put up. I let them dry overnight. It is the next morning, and that means that it's time to start moving all of this stuff over to these shelves. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know exactly how I want this to look. I don't really know the setup that I'm going to go with. I'm just going to start moving stuff and kind of let it organically come together. I do think that we are going to have way more room than I initially thought. Aside from the fact that we gained an entire extra shelf, we've also got to think about the fact that there's a lot of spacers in here. There's a lot of little separating, dividing walls, and also this middle shelf here wasn't even as tall as these cases, and these cases were only as tall as that shelf there. So we've got an entire extra shelf, and we have absolutely no dividers to separate anything and cause little gaps. So I think that there's going to be a lot of room. However, we did lose some things. We're going to lose these posters. We're going to lose this shadow box. But we'll figure something out. I think maybe above the Slipknot collection. I'm not sure. I do think that we might end up putting another shelf on that wall as well, but we'll just have to see. We're going to start with this and see what happens. I think one idea that I have is to put some of the masks on this shelf here in glass cases so that the entire bottom row here is in glass cases, and then on top of the cases I can set other masks, because this section is going to be, for the masks anyways, primarily special masks. Stuff like my vintage clowns, my real mold clowns, some various vintage ghost glows like the Cuddles that was painted by Cuddles, just special masks, some stage used, some backup, some real mold, but things that are nice and probably should be together regardless. So I think we're going to do cases down here. I'll have to go downstairs and find some, and then we'll stack a second set of masks on top, like a second row. Excuse me. And yeah, then we'll go from there. A lot of this is going to be merch, and I'm a little concerned with the fact that a lot of the merch will have to sit against something, and obviously we only have these studs with these gaps back here. So I don't know, I'm just talking. We're gonna go ahead and just set the phone up and get started on moving things over. All right, I'm not vibing with this at all. So I think these two shelves are gonna end up becoming mostly merch, maybe some merch down here, I'm not sure yet. And then the higher up shelves are going to be the masks. I think that's just because the masks you'll be able to see clearly on this shelf, like they're bigger than a cassette or a VHS or whatever the smaller merch pieces are. And these cases aren't working out the way that I wanted them to. I guess they don't look too bad. This one's a little torn up, but maybe just a little higher up. We'll try the cases again and go from there. But down here, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. It's not working the way that I want it to. So time to get a new game plan, I guess. So I think that this was the right move. I am far happier with the masks being on this shelf opposed to this shelf. As you can see, we've got all of my special clowns on this shelf. And the reason that I think this was the right move is for a few reasons. First of all, we got all the clowns together, and those look great. And the reason that we were able to get these all together is because we actually lost the glass cases. The reason that we can't use the glass cases on this shelf is because this shelf is actually a little taller. When I first started putting shelves up in the building, I wanted to make a shelf that could house my Craig helmets, and the Craig helmets are obviously a little bigger than a regular mask because they're already a helmet, which is like the size of a mannequin head, but then they've got these big nails. So I made the bottom shelf a lot taller than these shelves. These shelves are a lot closer together, and they are not big enough to have 2 layers of masks. Down here, we would have had the masks in the cases, and then we would have had a foam head or something with another mask on top of each case. But we moved up here and we obviously lost that space. And it's kind of nice because with these cases, you get those divider spaces that I was talking about. You lose room because of the dividers and the wasted space inside of the case on each side of the mask. This way, these masks can actually touch and it doesn't look bad. And we honestly gained 2 spots for 2 more masks on this shelf by losing these cases. Another reason why I think losing the cases is a good idea is because it kind of obscured your view of the mask. It definitely took away from seeing the mask. And while things do look nice behind glass, the only way that you would have been able to look at any of these masks aside from the one on the end is head on, because those black bars would have been right there, and then there would have been another set of black bars from the next case. And the only mask that you would have been able to see from 2 different sides or 2 angles is the one right here. So losing those cases, moving the masks up was actually a blessing, and I do think that it's going to work out better for the merchandise as well. The masks are larger than most pieces of merchandise, and even if the merch is somewhat sizable, it's just got smaller print on it. It's harder to read. It's harder to see from further away. So now you can come up here, you can see the masks on these shelves, and they're obviously pretty readable. And then you can look at the merch on this shelf, and we can do like a staircase type setup where the smaller merch, maybe the patches, will go in the front. Then you'll have VHS tapes, cassette tapes, CDs, stuff like that. And then in the back, you can have bigger things like these magazines or booklets or whatnot. I really think that this is going to come together very nicely, and I'm starting to get excited, especially seeing these clowns up here. Man, this one just looks so good right now. What are we talking about, dude? Look at that thing. Ugh, okay, I'm gonna get back to it, and I will check back with you guys once we have made some progress.
I'm having wicked dreams. I'm leaving Tennessee. Love is in the bathroom and the light outside the door. Die, you think we go. And you didn't have to wake up. I wanna keep on dancing. Don't say I left you all.
All right, so I think I mentioned earlier in the video that this is going to be... All right, I think I mentioned that earlier in the video that this gap between the studs and the wall itself is going to be a problem because I planned on putting merch right here. So we're just putting a little backdrop thing up here right now so that we can start stacking things from smallest to biggest. This will probably be a lot of books and magazines sitting up against that. So I think this is going to be cool. Well, I got a lot of stuff moved over, and I did time-lapse all of this, but for some reason when I turned around to turn the time-lapse off, the phone screen was black. So this is what it looks like right now. I think that a lot of this is going to have to come down to this second shelf, but that's okay because I have a lot of magazines that I want to display. So sorry that you missed the time-lapse, but looks pretty cool, man. Looks like a crazy old like record shop or something. Just all of this memorabilia I think looks sick. And then in the very destroyed front room, Ben is working hard. We are throwing some shelves up above that top shelf there to get a lot of these different Halloween season finds, just various vintage masks or new school masks that we find on Halloween hunting trips and whatnot, up off the floor, and finally start doing something with this area. So, oh, we got rid of that couch that was over there. The futon's next. All right, guys, so it looks like this is going to be a pretty good stopping point for this particular project, at least for this video. Now, obviously, we will pick up next week and keep going with this, but right now in this video, there are a few reasons why I am choosing not to move forward. One is that we are just kind of out of stuff to put down on this bottom shelf. I've been messing with some of these magazines and other various merch that came out of these cabinets, but most of it ended up on this upper shelf, and now the bottom shelf just looks a little less dense than the top one. I'm really happy with how this top shelf looks. I think that it looks absolutely awesome, and this is starting to match that energy. However, there's just not enough little trinkets and merch. So I'm going to go through some other totes that I've got around here, see if I can find some stuff to add to this and get a finished look for this by next week's episode. The next reason that I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here is because this video is running really long and we still have the other project in the front room to worry about, so I need to wrap that up and get a good stopping point on that as well. We did not get exactly everything that I wanted done in this episode. There was a surprise project that I wanted to show you guys once we got it up and working, because I didn't think that it was going to take too much work, but we haven't even been able to start on that. I've had a lot going on this week, obviously getting ready for PaleFest and being injured, so I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can, especially before these trips that I've got coming up, and especially before PaleFest, and that's life, man. But we are killing it. It looks great. I'm extremely happy with how this is turning out right now, and I can't wait to show you guys what's going on with it next week in the next weekly Wednesday update video, which, by the way, you're probably wondering why you're seeing this on a Thursday, and that's because I'm an idiot, and I thought today was Tuesday night, but it's actually Wednesday the 16th. So I meant to post this yesterday. I've got to get this thing done. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, and have it up for you guys Thursday, tomorrow, which is technically today now when you're watching this. But actually, I got it up last night for patrons. So I guess the moral of the story here is go sign up for Patreon, right? Now, to close out today's episode, we obviously have to get these shelves in order. The bottom shelf, the existing shelf, is obviously in complete disarray. Ben was just up here fucking shit up, being a menace. A menace, if you will. And then we get to dress the top shelf for the first time ever. So we get to get a lot of these masks up off of the ground and put in their forever home. I mean, a pretty permanent home. I guess it's not super permanent, but you guys know what I mean. So let's go ahead and set the camera up, get these guys fixed, and then start adding masks to the top shelf. Bottom row is back together, and we have started on the second row, but now I'm kind of worried I won't have enough masks or bottles or plastic sacks to fill that up. So I guess we'll just go till we can't go anymore. That's what she said, and see what happens. I'm done. It's late. I'm done. I got a few more up, but I'm just done. I'm tired. We've done a lot in this episode, and I'm finished. So I guess we will pick up where we leave off right now in next week's episode. I'm also sorry that this came out a day late. That's just my fault. It truly is the busiest season I've ever had in my life, and I'm literally losing track of my days. So yeah, dude, we crushed it. We killed it. Everything looks great. I'm very happy with the progress that we've made on two things that have definitely needed done for a long time here. See, it's after midnight. I'm ready for bed now. I gotta be up early and I've got stuff to do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about the projects. What do you think about this new wall, or I guess this new shelf, and that new wall in there? I'm very, very excited about that new Slipknot wall. That is probably my favorite project that we've done for a while. So let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know what you think the surprise project is. I think it's going to be something pretty cool, and I don't think that anybody's going to guess it. So let me know down in the comments your best guess, and we will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.